Hello, everybody. My name is Travis Whitaker, and I'm currently a student at National American University taking the class Introduction to Leadership and Quality. And this is my presentation for the class on organizational control. Some of the things we're going to talk about in this presentation includes defining organizational control. What is it? What are its pros and cons? How does that help with business operations? Then we're going to look at some control tools, like the Balanced Scorecard, and how that is used to help organizational control. And then finally, we're going to go over financial and budgetary controls with this financial scorecard and how it can help the business be successful financially. Organizational control. Organizational control is the systematic process of regulating organizational activities to make them consistent with the expectations established in plans, targets, and performance standards. Organizations often have trouble with managers and employees staying true to the behaviors needed to support these goals and meet expectations. So, what do you need for organizational control? Organizational control comes with an effective understanding of company standards and practices. This means that effectively controlling an organization requires information about performance standards and actual performance. There also needs to be action taken by managers to correct deviations from the standards. All right, controlling involves various activities, but it can be summed up pretty simply. It starts with establishing performance indicators, and this is really where you monitor the performance. Next is collecting and analyzing the data. This is where you compare it against established standards. How are we doing against our competitors? And then finally, providing timely feedback to employees. This is where you take corrective action when necessary to address these issues. All right, some of the advantages of organizational control are that they create efficiency and optimize the use of resources within the company. They also allow for objectives to be met on time. They allow for deviations to be controlled much before they grow out of hand. And then finally, they evaluate the accuracy of the performance of standards. Some of the disadvantages of organizational control is that it can create animosity and resistance in a group or team. Controlling is based on a quantitative approach, which does not account for the qualitative side of team members. It cannot be used for measuring qualitative performance as it's just a quantitative approach. External factors are not much taken into account in controlling either, and if standards are not set correctly through poor planning, organizational control will not work. So, do you think you have what it takes to make organizational control a reality in your organization? Well, don't worry, because there are some contemporary control tools and systems out there that help balance this workload for managers. One of my favorite approaches is the Balanced Scorecard. The Balanced Scorecard is a current approach to organizational control that takes a balanced perspective on company performance, integrating various levels of control that focus on markets and customers, as well as employees and financial data. The Balanced Scorecard contains four major perspectives: customer service, internal business processes, potential for learning and growth, and financial performance. This is more of an eye chart, but it really breaks out the Balanced Scorecard and what it actually entails. It starts with your mission and strategic goals, and from there you can branch out and figure out how well for the customers, how well do they serve our customers. You can also find out financial statistics, like do activities collaborate to improving financial performance. And then you can go over internal business processes. Is there value added in the processes already established in the business? And then learning and growth. Are we learning, changing, and improving, and what I like to say, adapting to the market and really growing to make the business a success? Now that you've seen the overall picture of the business scorecard, let's get down into the details. The Balanced Scorecard customer service indicators measure information such as how customers view the organization and customer retention and satisfaction rate. This data can be collected in many forms, but mostly includes testimonials from customers describing their service experience or from customer surveys. You ever done a Yelp review? This is what that data is helping. All right, the next part of the Balanced Scorecard is the internal business processes. Internal business process indicators on the balanced scorecard measure information such as production and operating statistics. Now, these indicators need to be defined by the company because they are for what the company is about. Some examples include for airlines, they can focus on time arrivals. What are the internal processes for that, and what they can do to improve them? Also, for fast food, how fast can they get quality food out of the kitchen? Uh, I know a long time ago, McDonald's looked into how fast they can toast a bun. Just these small little practices that can make the business a lot more successful by cutting time. The next piece of the balanced scorecard is potential for learning and growth. This portion of the scorecard looks at the organization's potential for learning and growth, focusing on how well resources and human capital are being managed for the company's future. Some of the data collected for this includes such things as employee retention and introduction of new products. If your business wants to continue to learn and grow and be a better business, they need to look at employee retention as well as what new product lines do they want to introduce down the road, and do they have the infrastructure in place to meet those goals. All right, and then the final piece of the balanced scorecard is financial performance. This final portion of the scorecard may be the most important, in my opinion, because it ultimately judges the success of business operations. The financial performance perspective is the understanding that the organization's activities should be focused on the overall short and long-term accounting performance success of the organization. This can include traditional measures such as net income and return on investment, but ultimately, how well are you performing can be summed up in how much money you're making. All right, the balanced scorecard and added financial and budgetary control. The added financial and budgetary control benefits from a balanced scorecard include such information as financial measures that tell the results of actions already taken. The balanced scorecard complements the financial measures with operational measures on customer satisfaction, internal processes, and the organization's innovation and improvement activities. All of these are operational drivers for future financial performance. In conclusion, organization control needs to be implemented in businesses because it helps guide the employees towards operational success. A great tool used by effective managers is this balanced scorecard that I've talked so much about. This balanced scorecard focuses on 4 important perspectives: the financial perspective of the business, the customer's perspective of the business, learning and growth perspective of the business, as well as internal business processes perspective of the business. Incorporating these 4 uh, areas into your balanced scorecard will provide for better operational success. Here are some of the here are the references I used for this presentation. And once again, thank you. My name is Travis Whitaker, and this was for my class, Introduction to Leadership and Quality. Thank you.